Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name is John McDonald, and today we're going to create a design that would be ideal for going on a mantelpiece. So imagine, if you can, you've just won the lottery and you buy your first stately home. You're going to have big mantelpieces in that house, and this would be the ideal type of arrangement to make for those. So what I've got is I've got a two block tray with 2 blocks of wet floral foam, and I've just secured them in there with some floral tape. Now, the ideal thing for this is some ivy, and I've got some really good ivy. Now, depending on where you're going to put it, you could really go out the way, but I really want with the ivy to have a bit of a drop as well. I think we've got such a nice shape with it that it would be a shame not to use that. I mean, this is really nice. So it's also possible with here that you can put a bit of a bend on the top, and you can use that bend to help make your arrangement cascade a bit more. So we will go sideways, but we're also going to drop down as well. Actually, this has got a nice strong direction to it. If you've got a source of ivy, it's a good thing to have, especially if you're going to be doing items like this on a regular basis. It really makes a difference. I'm quite lucky, I've got some at the back of the garage, so we just use that. So the great thing with the ivy is that it stops this arrangement looking formal and stuffy. Straight away we've got a lot of movement, a lot of flow, and I want to bring that out with our other materials. So a little bit of aspidistra. So I'm going to work that out towards the sides. And actually the aspidistra we can use as well to help give a little bit of support for our flowers. And just because we're wanting to have it sitting up, we don't want everything to sit straight. We want to have a natural style in here. But we do want to cover this edge of our container at the front. I think we'll have that one there. So another great foliage is the French ruskus or the Italian ruskus. It really has a nice shape, a nice style to it, and we can add that in. So I'm just going to use a real mix of materials here. I've got no big agenda for it to look in any particular way. What I want it to look like is loose and open and informal. So our beautiful eucalyptus actually is going to really help with that. So kind of a natural style. This is going to take a little bit of material to fill. And what's nice is just using our foliage first to define the boundaries of our arrangement. But we don't want to stuff it with greenery. We want to leave a bit of space, but also I want it to feel like it's really flowing out. So just by adding this piece here, it's giving that feeling, and this as well, we're bringing that forward, which is really interesting. We'll just leave those wee bits there. And now we can think about what we've got. I actually like the idea of bringing a little bit more ivy just up and over. So again, just manipulating that stem with your hand is fine. We can bring that up and even use that little bit of eucalyptus there as a bit of a support. So we're creating a bit of a structure. And I say this quite a lot, you need to look at your material, see how it lends itself to being used. So this has got a really nice shape, but it's got a nice strong piece at the top. I can take that in there and we're going to get that cascade coming so that we're getting more layers into our actual work. So one of the key flowers I wanted to use were these orchids. And because they're quite big and fleshy, I think it's probably worth putting these in now. Now I've got 3 stems, so realistically I think we're going to space them along the length of the design. You can go up and down. But I don't want it to go 1, 2, 3. I can have it just slightly asymmetrical is good. And then with this one, it's also giving us a depth as we look into the design. Our other main flower is going to be some white lilies. And this is really nice, this one. We can just have that up into there. And this one, I can bring it lower down. So I'm taking that head in, but that's going to give a little bit of weight into the center of the design, but also give it a little bit of depth. And equally, if I take that back, the fact that our eye is going back is giving us depth as well. So our next flower, really, I have these beautiful delphiniums, and I just think these are just such a beautiful colour. If we're wanting to have kind of like a country style, then I think the delphinium just gives us that. It also is going to give us a drop, because we can come up with our stem and bring that down. Joking about a stately home, then this really is the type of flower I would expect you to have in your garden, or expect you to be able to access from the garden. And it's a great flower for creating pieces that go into big spaces. It's also giving us that gorgeous, slightly romantic, stately home sort of feel, I suppose, is really, you know, that country garden estate sort of feel. Now obviously you can get these in different colours, but I actually like going with this stronger colour. So often we do event work that is in quite pasty colours, quite light colours, and it can all look a wee bit wishy-washy, whereas these are just so magnificent. We'll bring this in here, and also on the other side. So I'm wanting to keep the whole thing balanced, as in it kind of matches, but I don't want it to have absolute symmetry within it. I want everything to have a little bit of fluidity. Like you can see, the overall shape is balanced, that's good. But it's not consistent the way this side doesn't mirror that side, but it works. So don't stress about making everything perfectly symmetrical, perfectly balanced. In fact, now I could bring this down here, or I could take this up there, but I literally have this one. So we did say we were making more of a waterfall mantelpiece arrangement, so it's going to be seen to best effect if we come in down there. Our next flower that I've got is these beautiful white Naomi rose, and these are our ideal flower for this type of arrangement because they're really strong. They've also got that kind of double-headed look, or like quite a concentrated petal sort of look, and that strikes me as more of a garden feel as well. Just taking one through the back there, and the reason for that is just to take your eye through and give it a bit of depth. I know I keep saying this, but it does work. It does. It's these little elements, like receding this rose, rather than necessarily bringing it out. It's taking that weight into the centre of the design. It's making you look straight at it, and then your eye can start to move around. This is what we call rhythm with flower design, where your eye goes to a focal point, then goes to a secondary point, it starts to move around, and you really appreciate the whole design because there's this movement that you've created by how you've placed things. So, got this rose here. Now I actually have a little bit of a gap going on just there, greenery wise, so I'm going to put a little bit of foliage in. And this was just a piece of forsythia actually from the garden. I need to check this side as well. Yep. We tend to look at arrangements from the front, but actually, when in the real world, people will walk into a room and walk down the side of a wall or down facing the side-on aspect. So it is worth just going back to your design, checking how things look from a different angle. So yes, the main view might be from here, but actually people might walk in and see here and see in, and there's a gap. If there's a gap, then you just add a little bit of what's needed to hide that. So, I just need to have a wee look and see, are we needing anything? I think what I'd like to do is put another rose right to the back there. Now I'm quite tall so I can see it, but when you're also further away, you'll see that it's there, and it is the thing that gives you depth. Now, just to finish, I've got a few beautiful callas, and we're going to just put these in. I'm really using my fingers to feel where I want these to go. They've got not a bad stem, you need to check on the stem, but they've got a really good hang as well. So, if I just basically feel into the design, I can feel where the foam is, where I'm holding this, you know, and I can insert it that way, which is perfect. I can come along a wee bit. So again, I want these to really help enhance the feeling of the cascade. This one's a little bit thin. So we're actually adding that line into the arrangement. Now because this line's going this way, I'd like to bring another one up to here so that your eye basically connects those two. Now, I'm quite happy with that. I think we've managed to make a nice little arrangement for going on your mantelpiece in your stately home. We've got nice colours that are actually going to draw the eye rather than just be washed out. We've got some good focal flowers into the centre, but we've really got a feeling of movement and cascade. And I think an arrangement like this would be perfect in a large property. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. We've created something a little bit fun and a little bit different, and I hope you've enjoyed the design. If you've not already subscribed, then click here to subscribe, and we have new videos every week. It's always something different, and we would love you to join us for our next design. So bye for now, take care.